Hey crafters, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to make a fun birthday card. Hope you enjoy! So I started this card by working on the background. Using a piece of paper that's 5 by 7 inches, I started by blending some speckled egg distress oxide, starting from the top and working downwards. This color is quite versatile because it's not too blue and not too gray, and it's great for a subtle background color. I wanted the focus of the card to be on the main image and on the water itself, so this was the perfect choice for my sky. Now I decided to put the sky color in sort of an arc along the bottom, leaving room for my water. And I didn't worry about masking a skyline, but I put the sky on the top 2/3 of the panel. And then I added some broken china around the top edge and the left and right hand side. And this helps to make the sky a little bluer rather than grayer. And then I just blended these two colors together. Now before moving on to my water along the bottom of this card, I did thoroughly dry this sky so that I could apply some Post-it note tape. And before sticking it on, I just tore it so that I would have a rough edge. And I put this rough edge facing downwards. And I wanted there to be a little bit of a shape to this bottom of the card. So I just manipulated the Post-it note tape until I was happy with the shape along the bottom. So it's sort of going up in the middle there. And then for the water on my card, I started by adding some cracked pistachio right along the top. And then I blended some Uncharted mariner along the bottom. And these colors work really well together, even though they're quite different. If you blend them together, you get a very nice combination of blue and turquoise. So once I was happy with the Uncharted mariner along the bottom, I went back and forth between these two colors to blend them together. And I love how the blue at the top of the card balances out the blue at the bottom of the card. And this Uncharted mariner really brings this card to life. So once the inks were all blended together, I removed the Post-it note tape. And you can see the rough edge along the bank of the river looks quite effective. A perfect scene for our birthday card. So then I took some of the Henry's ABC letters and I put them onto a piece of craft paper and I spelt out my sentiment. So I went in the end for just a beaver. And then I taped the letters that I wanted onto this craft cardstock and die cut them. Now at first I was going to put just N beaver, but in the end I went for just a beaver. Now I know that Lawn Fawn makes some wood grain cardstock, so you could always use that and skip a step, but instead I used this craft cardstock and gave it a wood-like effect. So after die cutting all the letters that I needed, I used one of my 3D texture fade embossing folders from Tim Holtz. And the way that they work is you just place the cardstock in there, lightly mist it with water, and then run it through your die cutting machine, and it gives you that wood grain effect. To make it even more noticeable, I used some vintage photo ink and just spread that along the top. And once that dries, you get this really nice faux wood effect, which is perfect for this sentiment. You could, of course, use Distress Oxide, but the Distress inks give you a more dramatic effect. Just perfect. So for the main image on the card, I used Would You Be Mine, the stamp set for the beaver and the log, And then the little guitar came from S'more the Merrier. I didn't end up using the little log in the end, but that's also from Would You Be Mine. So I stamped those with Memento Tuxedo black ink and then colored them in with my Copic markers off camera. Next, I die cut some birch trees. This is from the die set just called Birch Trees. And I did the same thing using the craft paper and then running it through my embossing folder. And then instead of using the vintage photo, I used some white pigment ink from Hero Arts just to give it a different effect. Then I put the whole scene together, putting the word beaver at the bottom. And then I put the little beaver on the log with the guitar in his hand in the middle of the card, so it's in the focal point. And then I put the word just A above the beaver so that it was sort of in line with that. And then I used those birch trees to kind of frame the scene. And I thought it would be clever if they were going behind the water. So what I ended up doing was trimming the bottoms of the trunks so that they looked like they were coming from behind the water. And then once I was happy with the placement of everything, I went ahead and glued it all down. The beaver, I put a little double-sided foam tape behind so that he pops up a little bit, but everything else I just glued flat onto this scene. And then to finish off this scene, I just trimmed the top of those trees off of the top of the scene so that it all fits perfectly. And then I put this aside and did the inside of my card base. So in my 5x7-inch card base, I used Sending Smiles from the Virtual Friends add-on set. And then I used Happy Birthday from the Special Delivery Box add-on. But there's lots of Lawn Fawn sets that say Happy Birthday. And then I also used one of the other beavers and the little hearts from the Would You Be Mine set. And then I stamped these on the inside of the card. And then I just put everything together using double-sided sticky tape on the back of the scene. And now you can see the finished card. On the outside it says Just a Beaver, and then on the inside, Sending Smiles and Happy Birthday. As a finishing touch, I used some crystal stickles on the guitar just to give it a little bit of sparkle and shine. And this will be a great birthday card that will make the recipient laugh. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video inspiring. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Have a crafty day!